of Opposition, Honourable Ministers, Honourable Members of Parliament and Members of the Public. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to thank His Excellency the President for his thoughtful and encouraging statement at the opening of Parliament session. In highlighting the issues and challenges that our nation is facing, he showed us how we can realistically move forward. Mr. Speaker, sir, at this time last year, no one had a clue that year 2020 will challenge our society, our economy, and our country in so many different ways. We are in a period of great stress and anxiety, and our road to recovery is rocky and uncertain. Our greatest challenge must be to rebuild our economy and keep our citizens safe, secure, and employed. Fiji is not alone. The whole world has been threatened by the COVID-19 pandemic. Every country, whether rich or poor, with an economy small or large, has been affected. Each government had to create an ecosystem of support for their people, and this has meant record debt levels. Mr. Speaker, sir, His Excellency has asked us to focus our attention on 3 areas for action. These are the containment of COVID-19, the rebuilding of our economy, and sustainable development as we continue our crusade on climate, oceans, and biodiversity crisis. Mr. Speaker, sir, my ministries have set clear goals aligned to these 3 priorities, and we are delivering against each one. Mr. Speaker, sir, the pandemic presents many challenges for the municipalities. Challenges very similar to what other businesses are experiencing. After all, municipal councils are also complex, large to micro-sized business. They have customers, they have a large number of employees, operate a breadth of essential services and facilities, and it is expected that their cost and revenue must be managed tightly. Just like any other business, they cannot sit back and wait for things to get better. They must think long-term and position themselves for a strong recovery. Mr. Speaker, sir, when COVID-19 reached our shores earlier this year, the whole of government machinery immediately went into action. The Ministry of Local Government moved quickly to spread market vendors across 54 decentralized market sites to ensure social distancing and installed sanitizers at public places. Council properties were made available for fever clinics and as isolation centers. We facilitated the opening of flea markets to provide SME opportunities for those who had lost their jobs. We raised awareness on the do's and don'ts of preventing COVID-19. Mr. Speaker, sir, all 13 municipal councils stand ready to assist in containing this virus. Mr. Speaker, sir, the second priority outlined by our President is economic recovery. The OECD report states that many economies will not recover their 2019 output levels until 2022 at the earliest. His Excellency rightfully points out the need for us to stay the course with the current national budget and the Fijian COVID-safe economic recovery framework. On that note, Mr. Speaker, sir, I acknowledge the efforts of the Honourable Minister for Economy for the pro-growth stimulus budget, creating conditions for reigniting economic growth and job creation that will put Fiji on a sustainable path to economic recovery. Many initiatives have now either been successfully rolled out or are in the process of being implemented. Mr. Speaker, sir, in response to our government's incentive to increase residential construction, the Ministry of Housing and Community Development has taken on a wider responsibility this financial year. The increase to 30,000 in the first home grant for Fijians to construct their first home has seen many more Fijians convert their dreams into reality. A total of 260 applications have now been approved under the First Home, First Land Grant Assistance Program, with a total payout in excess of $3.7 million. This assistance increases economic activity, spurs completion. Over 450 households will soon receive their 99-year leases. Mr. Speaker, sir, with these projects complete, the Ministry is now working towards the commencement of capital works in 4 other settlements. It is easy to draw a scheme plan and provide everyone with a short-term lease agreement, but a responsible government will do it the proper way. And this is what we are doing. Every settlement that we upgrade has proper roads, drains, water, electricity, and sewage facilities. The upgraded lots that the settlers receive at the end of these developments have a commercial value that will assist them in securing funding not only to acquire the land but to build a proper home. Mr. Speaker, sir, my ministry is currently in discussion with several local developers for possible housing development partnership. Though discussions are still in the preliminary stages, along with reforms currently underway with the Housing Authority and Public Rental Board, we are confident that we can work closely with the private sector in this area. Whilst economic recovery is our urgent priority, the Ministry has never forgotten those who are most vulnerable. After the pandemic was declared, the Housing Authority and PRB announced relief packages to their customers and tenants. We also worked with Heart Homes, funded through the national budget, to provide rent concession to those whose income was affected. Mr. Speaker, sir, on improved service delivery, the biggest challenge to this is corruption. Corrupt practices lead to a lack of confidence in the system and the waste of public funds and the deterioration of efficiency. The housing sector is currently undergoing a complete review in its effort to achieve the highest level of integrity in service delivery. The Housing Authority has undergone a special audit and a public inquiry. Mr. Speaker, sir, findings from these investigations have highlighted the need to strengthen the legal and governance framework surrounding the housing sector. Our National Housing Policy Review is progressing well, and the Ministry is currently undertaking public consultation on a new informal settlement lot allocation policy. The outcome of these efforts are to develop a new National Housing Act to address such issues and to ensure lots are fairly allocated to the most deserving. Mr. Speaker, sir, municipal councils are seen as a key development partners in driving local economic activity. The Department of Town and Country Planning has focused on reducing outdated, unnecessary bureaucracy and lengthy turnaround times for building, zoning, and subdivision approvals. Why? Because obtaining approvals in a timely manner increases business confidence and delivers more jobs in the construction industry. We now provide a monthly update on the numbers and timelines for major building approvals, which is a key indicator of economic confidence. From January to October 2020, we have approved 30 major development applications at a value of $154.7 million. Mr. Speaker, sir, we know that modern and practical legislation will enable the government's economic recovery work. The town and country planning and subdivision of land legislations are way outdated and are being reviewed to reflect the demands and dynamics of a modern construction and planning environment based on world's best practice. The outdated general provisions of the Town Planning Act will be replaced with new modern regulations providing the necessary guidance on areas such as setbacks and plot ratios. We must respond to the needs of our changing housing sector and the increase in commercial developments. Mr. Speaker, sir, municipal council infrastructure projects also have a vital role to play in Fiji's economic recovery. While increasing the livability of our cities and towns, they also which are now at different stages of development. Municipal council projects, whether it be parks, town beautification and e-hub, a decentralized transport hub, car parking stations, markets, or market infrastructure, must be equitably distributed across the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, the President also emphasized the increased importance of digitization to our economic recovery. The COVID crisis has accelerated digitization around the globe. There are now a multitude of ways we can serve our citizens and businesses in this new environment. The Ministry of Local Government has endorsed a transformative approach to digitization. We will build an e-services platform linking and harmonizing the work of Fiji's 13 municipal councils. Our digitization strategy will deliver a My Council app and a complete range of e-services that will transform how our ratepayers interact with the councils. This work is a game changer. The benefits are wide-ranging, from online construction approvals, online payment of rates, permits, fines, and the easier payment of bus and taxi-based fees. Over time, ratepayers will be able to book council venues and facilities online, find and pay for parking, and lodge complaints. We will roll out the MLG e-services platform over the next 4 years. And again, I want to thank the Minister for Economy for giving us some seed funding to roll out this program. Mr. Speaker, sir, in response to the third priority outlined by the President, the Ministry of Local Government's response to the climate change, oceans and biodiversity crisis is best reflected in the Savu Blue Town model. The significant economic impacts of COVID-19 have highlighted the urgency for a blue economy. Focused on economic recovery and resilience, the Savu Blue Town initiative is a powerful, replicable model to ensure local communities not only survive this crisis, but also thrive. The groundbreaking Blue Town model is a world's first and is designed to develop sustainable livelihoods, mitigate climate change, and reduce ocean pollution. Supported by $20,000 seed funding from the Fijian government and $75,000 from the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, the new year will see the introduction of the first pilot program. Mr. Speaker, sir, in September this year, to better manage household waste, Nasinu Town Council successfully subcontracted Suva City Council to deliver solid waste collection services. Going forward in 2021, the 4 Central Division Council will explore the possibility of creating the new waste management company as outlined in our 5-year and 20-year National Development Plan, as well as Urban Policy Action Plan. Under a shared service arrangement, they will deliver solid waste services, develop a new transfer station, and increase composting and recycling program. This model will over time provide a profitable income stream for these councils. Mr. Speaker, sir, the entire effort of my 2 ministries is directed towards increasing our much-needed economic recovery and the long-term well-being of all Fijians. Mr. Speaker, sir, before I take my seat, I wish to thank Honourable Bulitavu for providing positive feedback on how government assistance and projects have reached rural communities based on his personal experience. But on the other hand, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have to jog Honourable Kurindrani's memory that every ministry has achieved a lot in the last 2 years, and even during COVID-19 period. Therefore, it is not correct for him to say, and I quote, "Only thing government achieved was controlling COVID-19, unquote." Mr. Speaker, sir, let me give an account of what my 2 ministries achieved if I have not said enough. In 2020, we opened Reki Reki Market, Langere, Namaka Market, including Korovo restroom facility. opening of 3 fire stations in Nakasi, Lemi, and Reki in 2020. Over 2,900 households received 27.3 million in assistance to purchase their first land or build or buy their first home. A total of 73 households that were victims of accidental fires have been assisted. A total of 48 families have been assisted so far with the 1/3 and 2/3 assistance for rural housing. A 19-year-old informal settlement upgrade policy is going through public consultation. Excellency the President for his opening statement. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.